Story 1. Canada checking in, Tim Hortons. Everyone has their own idea of when Tim Hortons declined in quality. I say it was 20 years ago when they stopped baking the donuts fresh in store. But why are they still so popular? Because they're literally everywhere, and huge advertising campaigns that tell you their coffee is made with 100% pure patriotism. Story 2. Does Panera count? Because Panera is not good. Also, Chipotle is terrible now, but people seem to have caught on to that. And Taco Bell is nowhere near worth what they charge now. Story 3. Subway. This is basically a scam. Edit. Not a multi-level marketing, but some other type of scam. The corporation makes their money by convincing individuals to open franchises. Corporate knows they usually won't be profitable, but that's fine by them. They get paid just the same. Story 4. Oddly, in the United States, they all do. They are no longer of value. Quality has diminished. Flavor is not nearly what it used to be. It is truly sad. This is, of course, only my opinion. Story 5. Five Guys, where $20 is the new $5. Panera. Soup and a sandwich at yuppified prices. Starbucks and all the rest of them will be happy to overcharge you significantly for a cup of coffee. Special mention to Tim Hortons in the US, who close early. You're unfair for doing so. Story 6. I think this thread would be easier if you just asked which fast food places are still good post-inflation and shrinkflation. My take. Freddy's, relatively expensive still, but quality didn't go downhill. Schlotzsky's, again, always were a little pricey. Arby's just seems the same old place. Story 7. I'll preface this by stating that I do love In-N-Out Burger, but the amount of craze their burgers receive is ridiculous. My local In-N-Out consistently has a 20-car pileup stretching into the street at all hours of the day and night. It's just not that serious. Story 8. Whataburger. I am in Texas and it is hailed as God tier, but I just do not see it. I have tried their standard burgers, a couple of their breakfast items, and have never been impressed. I will eat it if someone is offering to buy lunch, but I rarely seek it out on my own. I will concede, though, their patty melt is pretty good. Story 9. I would say Chipotle. The hype doesn't match the reality for me. It is pretty basic and overpriced. I would rather go somewhere that offers better value and flavor. Story 10. Unpopular opinion. In-N-Out is massively overrated. Not bad, just extremely overrated. Based on the hype, I thought it was going to be something truly exceptional. I remember on a road trip I took to Los Angeles. I had 5 people separately tell me to stop at In-N-Out. This In-N-Out fanaticism came out first, and some of them didn't even have a beach, a walk, or an activity to tell me about. It's the best burger I've ever had. The best burger you'll ever have. People told me about the secret menu, and I got it 2x2 animal style with a shake and fries. The shake is fine, but it's still an ice cream mixture with some syrup. The burgers were a step up from McDonald's, but it wasn't the best burger I've ever had by a mile. The fries were actually terrible, and I threw them away despite being a poor college kid. When they finally came to my home city, people lined up for hours to get some. They still queue up for about 5 times longer than the Burger King across the street. And again, I'll agree it's better, but holy hell, it's not wait in line for 30 minutes good. There's a local steak place doing a $12 gourmet burger, and if you're willing to walk inside to get it, they're superior in size, taste, value, and everything else. I'd still eat In-N-Out over most fast food, but some people treat it like a religious experience, and I think it's just a 3.5-star eating experience instead of a 2-star experience. Story 11. CFA stands for Chick-fil-A. It is good, not bad food, but highly overrated. This is partially due to their service being so good and the quality being consistent. However, their burgers have toppings that remind me of a gas station or frozen hamburger. There is nearly no seasoning. How on earth do they get away with calling that a spicy burger? I've had black pepper that is spicier. Unless you have a sauce, their chicken and fries just aren't very good as standalone items, in my opinion. Story 12. I've given the Big Mac like 3 tries and each time I get nothing from the burger. I really don't know why Burger King is seen as average when their Whopper beats the Big Mac every time. Good lettuce, great tomato, nice pickles, seasoned, flame-grilled, toasted bun, and the size is massive in comparison to Big Macs. Story 13. Raising Cane's is the most bland, flavorless matter I have ever eaten. Oh, you have to try it with the sauce. I am here to eat food, not drink sauce. The place is terrible. I hate it. Story 14. Chick-fil-A. I know Christians hate eating there because they donate money to anti-LGBTQ and pro-Christian organizations, but it's boring chicken and not cheap. Story 15. Chick-fil-A. I just do not understand it. I live in the South. We have amazing chicken places everywhere, including gas station chicken that is incredible, but for some reason, the line at Chick-fil-A is never ending, and it's okay at best. I will say that the sauces they have are pretty great, but my goodness, the food there does not deserve the obsession people have for it at all. Story 16. It might be controversial, but in my opinion, Chick-fil-A. Their fries are outstanding, but I can never understand why their lines are so long for mediocre chicken sandwiches. I don't like fast food in general, though, so maybe that's why. Story 17. Chipotle. To me, that is how white Midwesterners see Mexican food. Their food is just junk and overpriced. I once asked a Chipotle employee if seasoning was added to my chicken because it tasted so bland and rubbery. He looked at me funny and said, "Just use the salsa." Story 18. Texan here, Whataburger. It had its day, it is mid now. It has been mid for a long time. It is time to accept it because I am tired of being embarrassed by non-Texans coming to try it out like it is the best burger ever. It never was. At best, it was just what a fast food burger should be. The game has moved on, and it was never the tip of the spear. Story 19. Here in the Netherlands, non-chain snack bars are extremely common. Nearly every shopping center has a snack bar, and I've never encountered a pool that didn't have a small snack bar attached. No McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, or whatever measures up to your local snack bar. Story 20. I think Chick-fil-A is extremely overrated. Everything is pre-made and put into foil envelopes under a heating lamp, just like AM/PM or other gas stations. So gross. Plus, it's completely dry and plain, and you have to add what you want from little to-go packets, again as if it's a gas station. But yet, they're charging top dollar. It's absolutely ridiculous. No, thank you. Yuck. Story 21. That is a hard question. Probably the most popular one, McDonald's. The only reason people eat there is because it is convenient and cheap. It doesn't taste like food, and it doesn't even melt or rot like food does. Overall, they are all pretty bad. Story 22. Raising Cane's. To clarify, their chicken is really good, and KFC could not compare. It was hot and crispy, but everyone talks about it like it's the best thing they have ever put in their mouths. And I personally didn't find their sauce noteworthy. It's plain and simple, and that's not my preference. Story 23. McDonald's. When I was a kid, their hamburgers tasted like beef. Since I've been an adult, which has been several decades now, I probably only eat there once every 3 to 5 years. I immediately have to go to the bathroom and feel sick the rest of the day, and feel bad the next day. Story 24. McDonald's. It was fine when it only cost a few quid for a meal. Now, you can get a proper meal somewhere nice for the same price. Even Wetherspoons is better. At least you get a pint included with your meal. Story 25. Chick-fil-A is nearly everyone I know's favorite fast food. We had their nuggets at my parents' 50th. It's nasty. The lemonade tastes like how nail polish remover smells. I could go on. But if watching science fiction has taught me anything, it's that if you hate something and everyone else loves it, it's an alien plot to take over the world, probably involving alien cows. Story 26. Why isn't McDonald's high up? It's expensive for what you get. You get next to nothing, and you barely get any fries anymore either. The Happy Meal toys have gone to absolute nonsense for the kids. The inside of McDonald's doesn't look quirky and fun like it did in the late 90s and early 2000s. The food isn't filling in the slightest. Wasn't McDonald's monopoly quite literally a scam? Story 27. I cannot stress this enough, but In-N-Out is always packed to the gills with people in the drive-thru. Every time I have eaten there, I haven't enjoyed it. The best thing about In-N-Out are the peppers. Story 28. In-N-Out. The Bible verses printed on the wrappers make me lose my appetite. Don't preach to me about living well while I am enjoying my greasy food. Typical religious hypocrisy. Story 29. For me, McDonald's is often overrated. Sure, it is iconic, but the food does not live up to the hype. There are way better options out there for the price and quality. Story 30. In my opinion, In-N-Out, yes, I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but the burgers just taste like every other food place and they don't even put the salt on the fries for you. Story 31. In-N-Out is the most basic, bland-tasting food I can think of. Their burgers and fries just taste like a bunch of unexplainable nothing. Also, Raising Cane's chicken tenders. I'm so serious. Popeyes, Whataburger, even my local gas station has better tasting tenders. I just don't get it. Story 32. I don't know if it's considered fast food, but Starbucks. Even without the boycott or workers' conditions, it's so expensive. The drinks are too sugary. Everything they do, you can find it for less in local coffee shops or even do it yourself. I'm truly confused about the obsession people have with this brand and buying all their products like mugs, thermoses, and so on. Story 33. At In-N-Out, the one time I went there was a really long wait. It was good but overpriced for what it was. I have only been there once, so maybe I am wrong, and it was an off day. Wendy's is good, but I seem to know a lot of people who rave about it, and it is barely better than McDonald's. Better chicken sandwiches at Wendy's for sure, but burgers, fries, and nuggets are neck and neck, and McDonald's has better breakfast. Story 34. McDonald's always smells like toilet water. I thought maybe a coffee would be safe, but the creamer was spoiled. Even for 50 cents a biscuit on the app, I won't go there. Story 35. I don't know if it's overrated, but when I worked at Jack in the Box, I was surprised every day when someone came through and ordered $60 to $75 worth of food for like 3 or 4 people. For fast food, the food is decent, but you could go to a normal restaurant with 4 people for $75. Although one time, this lady ordered like $60 worth of food and both her cards declined, so I got a very nice meal on my break since over half of the order was already made. Story 36. In-N-Out. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but they aren't as amazing as everyone on the West Coast claims they are. It's a burger with Thousand Island dressing. Story 37. Chick-fil-A. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty darn good, but I've literally seen adults go crazy and cheer once they hear we're getting Chick-fil-A for lunch. Like, easy there, it's just a chicken sandwich. Story 38. In my opinion, every single fast food item is way too expensive for what they are serving. All of them taste mediocre. I could easily get better, healthier food at local restaurants. Story 39. Please listen to the corrected text below. Do not kill me, but Portillo's. I have heard about it for years. It finally came here, and it was so disappointing. There is a place here called Chicago Avenue that is 10 times better. My boyfriend was raised in Chicago, and even he prefers Chicago Avenue to Portillo's now, so I do not think it's just me. Story 40. Chipotle. I personally dislike it because everything tastes like soap due to the cilantro soap gene trait I possess. Therefore, I cannot understand the excitement surrounding it. Story 41. Chipotle has to be the most overrated restaurant. I can't think of any other restaurant where people are harassing employees for not giving them a burrito that can feed a family of 4. Story 42. As a kid and in my 20s, McDonald's was a go-to for me and my friends because back then a value meal was exactly $3.99. Burgers were like 59 cents and cheeseburgers were 69 cents and a soda was like 39 cents for a small. I forget how much fries cost, but if I remember correctly, they were something like 80 cents. I understand inflation exists, but most value meals are over $12 where I live, and for me, I just feel like, how dare you sell your food for that price? Seriously, as long as I can remember, McDonald's was the butt of jokes because of their quality, but for some reason, they have the audacity to think their food is worth the money they charge.